It's a tough room. Alright, how about one more? One more, alright? So mama tells her sister, you can go on a driving with your boyfriend Bobby, but you gotta take little Johnny with you. Sister says, alright. So they come back, mama pulls little Johnny aside and says, alright, what happened? Little Johnny, he can't talk. So they go, well, we went to the driving. Well, we know that. Right? What else happened? Little Johnny go. Mama said, they were kissing. What else happened? Little Johnny went. He was feeling her up. Well, what else happened? Little Johnny went. They took off their clothes. What else? Little Johnny went. They were doing that? Well, what were you doing? Little Johnny go. Little Johnny, no! Alright, now that I finally got the joke down, we're going to talk about 3 takes, by the way, before I got it. I didn't get it verbatim, but I did the best I could. I wanted to do a Little Johnny joke in this movie. Natural Born Killers. Alright? Natural Born Killers. This is a movie that, for me, does not have rewatchability. Nothing bad about it. It's just one of those movies, kind of like something that Rob Zombie would put out, where you want to put on every once in a while. It's not just the dialogue and the writing. This movie was written by Quentin Tarantino, the original script was, but he's since gone on to disown it because Oliver Stone, the director of this film, revised quite a bit of the script. So, yeah, and this is the director's cut. So much like True Romance, this is the director's cut. It was supposed to come out. And, you know, it's not just the dialogue or stuff like that, but it's also like the visual style. It goes, sometimes it's like backlit, sometimes it's underlit, sometimes it's black and white. Some camera moves, it's very sporadic with the camera movements. That's not the holding thing against the acting of Woody Harrelson and Juliette Lewis, who are fantastic in this film. And another great actor who is great in this movie is Robert Downey Jr., who's playing an Australian, but he's not playing an Australian, playing an African-American, you know, like in Tropic Thunder, but he's playing an Australian. And at first they show him he's got this mullet. Looks kind of weird, and then later he's got this regular Robert Downey comb thing. And you got Tommy Lee Jones as the warden here. You know, I've got to mention Gale is Robert Downey Jr.'s name. Walter Gale or Warren Gale or something like that. And then you got Warden played by Tommy Lee Jones and Jack Scagnetti played by Tom Sizemore. And this is one of those movies that it reminds me of Rob Zombie because there's not a character you can really root for. Mallory and Mickey Knox, which technically they're not actually married, and I don't understand the writing of, oh, they're just gonna pretend to get married on a bridge, where why not just go to Vegas and get married? I don't know. But Mallory and Mickey Knox, they're killers, right? Jack Scagnetti, he's not a very good human being. You can't root for him because he strangles a woman to death on a train. I think they're on a train. And then you have, you know, Robert Downey Jr.'s character, Gale, who is not a good person either, as he always only cared about the money and the fame and all that, to the point where he thinks, towards the end here, he thinks he's got everything in the bag. He basically ditches his wife. Says, I don't need you. Pardon my Australian accent. I don't need you. I got this. And it's like, he ends up dead anyway. You know, the whole thing they have is like, they go, they shoot up a place, they kill people, they leave one person behind to tell a story. Except for 2 times in this movie that they don't do that. One, after they get bit by rattlesnakes and have to go to the pharmacy and they're out of rattlesnake antidote, which I found to be bullshit. Like, there's always one of something, and they just so happen to be out of the one thing that they need. I don't know. But they kill the fat Hawaiian guy there because he's the only one left. And so, if we don't kill you, nothing to tell. Well, yeah, you could say they robbed the place, and you could shoot him in the leg. They shot me. It's still a story. Anyway, and then later with Robert Downey Jr., they kill Robert Downey Jr., Gale, and he said, "Well, you have to leave one a witness." And we do. Your camera. How is the camera footage going to get out to the press? I know it's live, so I guess that works too. But I don't know. I guess it was live, but I'm questioning the live thing too, because how far of a distance? This is 1994, by the way. How far of a distance do they go where there's still a live connection? There's no wireless stuff in 1994. There's no Wi-Fi. There's no wireless stuff. I don't know. It's very iffy how that would work. Also, the image on the DVDs and stuff where you got Woody Harrelson with a bald head, that is only in the last 45 minutes of the movie. He has this mullet thing. Sometimes it's a ponytail sort of thing. And like I said, the stylistic stuff in this is a little jarring for me. What I do like, because I think it's the kind of softened blow of what was really happening, is they present Mallory's backstory in the form of a sitcom. And I grew up on sitcoms. I like sitcoms. And yeah, they present it, and it's much like True Romance. It's love at first sight stuff, which only happens in the movies, And so yeah, basically what it is it's like a sitcom, and you got Rodney Dangerfield as Mallory's dad, and it's apparent that he sexually abuses her. The mother, played by Edie McClurg, who we know from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. It's one of those relationships where the dad does what he wants and the mom just kind of stands there and lets it happen. It's not a good thing to see, but unfortunately it does happen. And it sucks, but it does happen in real life. But and then we're introduced to Mickey, who gets their raucous applause when he walks in, and she's like, "Who are you?" And he's like, "I'm the meat man. You like meat in your mouth," or something like that. And I'm like, okay, I get what you're trying to say here. But he's got this, I don't know how sanitary this is. He comes in covered in blood and stuff, and he's got this whole big ass package of meat. He's like, "I got 10 pounds of meat," or whatever it was, 50 pounds, whatever, 12, I don't know, something like that. And it's spilling out and shit, and then they lock eyes on each other, and then when they come back out, he's like, "I'm gonna buy whatever meat I want, fuck you." And then he looks down, and it's written on the piece of the meat paper, "Went with Meat Man, be back at midnight." It's like, okay. She was going out with her friend, now she's going out with Mickey. And then it's presented from this point on, they just go out and they kill people. But Mickey gets arrested and spends some time in jail, and then when he gets out, he shows up and he kills Rodney Dangerfield. And the line I like to quote, "Hey, Jack, Mickey's back. Well, just the prick I wanted to see." And then he kills him and the mom. They kill the whole family. They set the place on fire. They let her brother go free. She's like, "You're free." And I'm just like, yeah, but if he didn't get out of the house, he's going to be killed in the fire, but we never really find out what happens afterwards. And then we get the scene on the bridge, "Whole world's coming to an end, man," which Eric has quoted plenty of times. He quotes this movie, And I don't know, Mallory wears different wigs throughout the movie. But her real hair, if it's supposed to be real hair, the mullet she has, I'm sorry, it looks terrible. I'm sorry, Juliette Lewis doesn't do anything for me personally. I can see you find her attractive. She personally doesn't do anything for me. But with that mullet, it really doesn't do anything for me. When she's in Christmas Vacation, she looks pretty good. But here, take it or leave it. What I do like is the chick on the train who shows her tits. That ends up getting killed by Scagnetti. She's pretty good looking. But you know. But there's certain scenes that I don't understand why they're in there. Like they have this woman hostage, and they're having sex on the bed, and Mickey's looking at her, and so like she leaves, and it's I don't think we see it, but it's assumed that he raped this woman. And then Mallory goes and she has this guy at this garage come on to her, but then that leads to flashbacks of getting raped by her dad, even though this is consensual. Like, I don't, like, he's not forcing himself on her, she's allowing him to do it, and then all of a sudden she's like, no, and then she kills him, shoots him in the head. Like, okay, I understand how some sexual experiences will lead to that, but it's not like he was forced himself. This didn't look like that. I don't know, maybe he was. The camera was just moving between black and white and overlay that I couldn't connect with what was going on. And that's one of my biggest problem is that very often, especially when it gets to when they're in jail, it'll cut between black and white shots. The black and white shots, they'll be talking, like specifically there's a scene where Scagnetti and the warden are talking, and it'll cut that they're talking, and while they're still talking, it cuts to them and scene going. And it's like, okay, like what is even going on here, you know? Like, I don't know. But like, Tommy Lee Jones, he's pretty good in this. He's a whack job character, but again, for someone he's pretty wacky in this movie, just like he is in Batman Forever, and then he can look at Jim Carrey and say, I don't sanction your buffoonery. But this role but his role in Batman Forever are equally as buffoony, so I don't know how he can talk down to Jim Carrey, but then have these two roles where he's basically, maybe not going fully there, but come on. And this was at a point in Robert Downey Jr.'s career where he was less than stellar, but he is pretty good in this. I'll tell you that much. And eventually they end up in jail because when they kill the fat guy, I think it is. Like, did they ever get a cure for the rattlesnake venom? I don't know. And there's a moment where they're like, okay, where Mallory specifically is like, we can go down there, we can go out in a blaze of bullets. And the way this movie ends, I think maybe going out in a blaze of bullets would have been a better ending for these two. They're, like Mickey is doing this interview. He's like, shit, I'm just a natural born killer. And I'm like, that'll drop. And then, like, he's doing this interview, and then he breaks out. We get the little Johnny joke, like I did. And then he breaks out. And he's able to do this all by himself. Well, he gets help from another guy that ends up dying anyway, but I don't know. Is that Kavanaugh? He keeps yelling for Kavanaugh. I don't know. But, like, he gets Gale to take him out. Or is it Dwayne Gale? I don't know. Gale to take him out. Robert Downey Jr.'s character, take him out of there. And I think they kill the warden. I know that Mallory kills Scagnetti. I believe the warden is killed. But, like, I don't know, there's so much happening in that scene. And it ends with them escaping, killing Robert Downey Jr. And then it shows them in a van with two kids, and she's pregnant. No, that's not how it would work. These are criminals. As soon as a kid is born, and you can't tell me I'm wrong because I've known people this has happened to. Alright? As soon as one of the kids is born, it's going to be taken away from them. They are known serial killers. They would not have a family. It would not happen that way. It would not work that way. You could say this ending is made up in their head. Like, the whole movie could have made up in their head. Because, like, it's like, I'll tell you how this all happened. And what precedes is a sitcom version of what happened, how she met Mickey and all that. And it's like, okay, it's the unreliable narrator. For all we know, they did go out in a blaze of glory, and they're dead. Who knows? But it's not a bad movie. It's not something I'm going to go back to, and so I have to give a middle of the road. Because it's not something I'm going to go back too much. I'm going to watch True Romance again before I watch this again. I'm just saying. But it's not bad. It's just not something I'm going to go back to often. All right. So, let's roll the dice. 1. Well, that's easy. 1. Well, we don't have to worry about another Eric. So what is this? Slackers. It's me again. It's me again. Okay. So slackers. Let me get. I'll put them over here. Hold on. Gee, don't fall over. So, slackers is the next one. So what are your thoughts on Natural Born Killers? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.